Andrew Fleischmann is a longtime West Hartford State rep. Now he has a new job, president and CEO of the Big Brothers Big Sisters organization. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This is a little career change, although you're keeping your day job. This is your new day job, right? You're keeping your state rep job.
Well, my prior day job was actually chief operating officer of a communications training company called Speed Reading People.
Great.
But folks forget that, the state legislature is different than the U.S. Congress. It's a part-time legislature. We're in just a few months a year, and when we're there, we're not there full-time. So, and it pays about $30,000 a year. So most of us in the assembly have other jobs. I had been in the private sector. I was interested in getting more involved with public service outside the legislature, and I was lucky enough to get a dream job like this one.
Now, you're known as the education guy at the state capitol, education chair. You've always been front and center on these issues. What was compelling for you about this organization?
Well, as education chair, I've always said that I'm focused on two achievement gaps. One is between the haves and the have-nots, and the other is between every child in Connecticut and the kids of the rest of the world. We have to deal with both of those gaps. Big Brothers, Big Sisters, I can't think of any organization in America that does more for boys and girls who don't get the kind of support from parents that people who were fortunate like you or I got. And it helps really level the playing field and takes a child who maybe has a parent who's incarcerated or who's absent and gives them a role model who really shows them that they can do anything they want with their lives.
You got two tough sells here, finding mentors who have time. There's so many folks out there who want to help, who understand the mission, but have their own kids or concerned if I commit, will I have the time to do this, Andy? And then, of course, you have the fiscal issue, trying to raise money. So let's deal with the recruiting issue. What do you do with folks like myself who say, Andy, great cause, don't sell me on it, it's clear, it speaks for itself, but if I can't commit to, I've got two kids of my own, I'm concerned about overcommitting to a student or a child I don't know, and not being able to follow through. How do you deal with that person who says that?
Well, we want people who are passionate about helping a child and who are ready to make a one-year commitment that involves 6 to 10 hours per month. And so if for you personally, 6 to 10 hours per month is more than you can give, given all the other things that you juggle. We respect that. But the reason why I'm here today is because when you look at our waiting list of children, we have a particular bottleneck when it comes to African American men, West Indian men, and Latino men, and Latinos most of all, because if you look,
fast-growing population, right? The fastest-growing population in the state and in the country.
And when you look at children in need, also unfortunately fastest-growing, because this bad economy has not affected people equally across the board, not by a long shot. And so that differential is reflected in the population we serve. And my belief is the same as the national organizations, which is that our big brothers and big sisters should look like the children we serve. So everywhere I go, I just came from the Latino and Puerto Rican Affairs Commission earlier today. I was with the African American Affairs Commission last week. I'm ready to go out to churches. I'm ready to go out to fiestas and community events to just make sure people know we need you.
Right.
We need you to volunteer, especially if you're a man of color, because there's a boy out there who needs a role model.
So I'm assuming then that your profile mentee or mentor, the big, your profile big, maybe someone younger or someone older, someone who's retired and maybe the children are old or gone now, or someone who's younger and single and have kids to say, hey, I can do that. That fair to say? Are those the two new profiles for you?
I actually would say it's broader than that. We have a foster grandparents program that does have a lot of retirees, but when it comes to our community-based mentoring, which is our model that most people know of, where there's somebody who commits to being a big brother or a big sister and shows up at the door, takes the child off to the park or to the library or whatever activity. We have a lot of young folks and a lot of middle-aged folks. We have people who have children of their own who say, my children are fortunate and there's children out there who aren't as fortunate and I'm going to go ahead and take action. And we have people in their 20s who say, I'm not ready to be a parent yet, but I care about children and I'm ready to make a commitment to a child. So it really crosses the whole spectrum. And candidly, the ideal candidate is someone who a child can relate to.
Right.
And that means that it doesn't have anything to do with their educational level or other attainments in life. It has to do with their caring, for that child.
Because kids do understand if you care or not right off the bat, right? They know when you're faking it, they know when it's real, and so you can't fake caring about a young child.
Not only can you not fake it, but on the flip side, when you really do care, there are all sorts of things that get transmitted, both consciously and unconsciously. If you go ahead and you look at the profiles of some of the folks who are former little brothers and little sisters, they will tell you that their big brother or big sister gave them the sense that they could do anything. Now, a lot of us are fortunate enough to have parents who do that. But there are so many circumstances where there's an absent father and there's a mother who's working 2 jobs. And there isn't the person who's there to say, A, you can do anything that you want to do with your life. And B, if you head out onto the streets with those other kids tonight, that's a mistake. And so we recruit people who have that caring, and from all walks of life, from all different backgrounds, but the thing they have in common is that big heart and that commitment to children.
Education is big too. You're the education guy. You know that with a single parent, a lot of time what can change the condition is a great education. A new education commissioner coming in, Stephen Pryor. A lot of folks are excited about this guy. He's a charter school champion, though he wants to have a different options and choices. Let's segue a little bit to what can you do about education, urban education, to make sure that these children from single parents have the very best education. We had Michael Sharp on with Jamoke Academy.
Sure.
How do you make that a link of what you're trying to do with the Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
Well, let me address that in 2 parts. First, when it comes to Big Brothers, Big Sisters, I'm pushing for us to have more granular measurements of the impact we're having on children. And what I mean by that...
Granular measurement, it's a tough term for me. I'm a Central Connecticut guy. You got to break that down for me.
Right now we have surveys that show that the Big Brothers, the Big Sisters, the families, and the children all feel like they're getting a better sense of themselves, that they are more enthusiastic about school, that they're more committed to school. And those survey results are consistent across the board. But we're not collecting grades. And I'm working on partnerships with school systems where we go ahead and we look at how the grades are changing. And if they're changing some, but not as much as we'd like, what kind of supplementary training can we give to Big Brothers and Big Sisters to help them be more effective supporters of those children, cheerleaders for those children, and tutors for those children, so that those kids achieve everything that they can and should academically. And I think
bringing value and bringing value and relevance to education, a big can help to add that value to a child, saying this is why this education is important, to sort of steer them on the right track in that 10 seconds.
Absolutely. To tell them education is important, and your homework is important, and your attendance is important, and this is about your future.
All right, so now you made this big pitch. What's the website? I know you have a big website for folks to go to. Give it to them real quick in 5 seconds.
NutmegBigBrothersBigSisters.org.
All right, good organization. Andy Fleischmann, new CEO. I want to thank all our guests, Michael Sharp, Andy Fleischmann. You can, again, catch our show at ctnow.com/Stan. Friend us on Facebook, Twitter, too, for the good folks here at Fox, Connecticut. I'm Stan Simpson. Tim Lammers, and The Morning Show, The Morning News is next.